Hello everybody, welcome on into My Sweet Home Living. My name is Tracy Campbell. I'm so excited that you are here today to join me for my segment in the Crafty Cook series that we are having over in the Craft Around the Clock, beginning today and lasting for the next 4 Fridays from noon until 6 p.m. Central every Friday for the next 4 Fridays. Today number 5 actually will be 5 Fridays, including today, that we are having some cooking segments. So find some of your favorite creators and crafters live over there in the Craft on the Clock group, bringing you some fun fall Fridays from the kitchen. It's so much fun. You guys, we've had some cooking segments, some cooking specials over there in the Craft on the Clock group before, and you all have loved them. And so this is our way of bringing those back so that you can enjoy them as well, especially for the fall season. I don't know about you guys, but I love baking and being in the kitchen when it comes to fall and winter. I don't know, something about the warm coziness of everyone being indoors just kind of makes me want to eat and be in the kitchen. So welcome on in today. I hope that you are as excited as I am. Miss Chris Hunter from Creating with Chris Hunter has kicked us off at 12 p.m. noon today. And we go all the way up until 6 p.m. tonight. So we have several creators that'll be joining you from their kitchen today. So you all tune in today over in the Craft on the Clock group and show them some love and support. And I know they will be so excited to see you guys down in the comments. I'm so excited that you are here. And this is different, right? Most of you, we've had so many new friends in the last few months. And so many of you probably never seen me in the kitchen. Although I've done some cooking segments from the kitchen before, but it's been a while. It's been a long while. Hello from Pennsylvania, Miss Vicki. Thank you all for letting me know where you are tuning in from. And I apologize, I'm shaking the camera just a little bit to get my cord. You know, when you're in the kitchen, things aren't quite as camera friendly here in the kitchen as what they can be set up in other rooms around the house. So we're improvising. Hello, Miss Debbie. Thank you all for tuning in today. I so appreciate y'all for showing up. And if you are watching the replay later, know that the replays for the Crafty Cook segments are all available in the Craft on the Clock group. And for today and all through the night, they will be in the featured section up in the Craft on the Clock group. But anytime that you want to come back and catch them, you can come to the Craft on the Clock group on Facebook and search in the search bar, search for the hashtag the Crafty Cook. Because I will start labeling all of these videos from this segment with that hashtag, and that will make it easier for you to find the replays later. Okay? Hello, Miss Ada. Thank you so much for sprinkling. If you would do that today, that would be so amazing. And if you do nothing else today, just press that heart button for me, and that would be perfect. And if you want to go the extra step, just put a comment down below so that I know that you're here. If I love seeing your names and I start to see them on a regular basis, I'll get to know you even better as well. So what do you think we're making today? What do you think we're making today? I've kind of dressed in the color scheme of what I'm going to be making today. One of my favorite fall desserts, you guys, pumpkin pie. You all saw we make the faux pumpkin pie a few months ago, so I thought, well, how fitting that we make the real pumpkin pie version today. And I know pumpkin pie can be like a dessert that either you love it or you hate it. But pumpkin pie has always been one of my favorites ever since I was a small child. My grandmother used to make them. I used to called her Mama. She had my favorite pumpkin pie recipe, and to this day, I've never had a pumpkin pie that tastes the same. I don't know if you guys are like me. If you have some grandmothers that used to be, good cooks or good bakers, and they just had that certain knack about something that they would make that you've just never been able to replicate or find the same flavor for. That's kind of how I am with her pumpkin pie recipe. So this video today I'm dedicating to her in memory of her and all of the Thanksgivings and the holidays that she would prepare this dessert and for her family. And it just wouldn't be the same if we didn't have pumpkin pie every year or during the fall season of some sort. But so we're not making it for a special holiday today. We make it for dessert. And how funny is, I think it was yesterday, my youngest, he was like, I'm in the mood for some pumpkin pie. And I said, well, it's a good thing you said that because I'm making some tomorrow. He was like, really? So we make it just because around here. So pumpkin pie is my favorite too. So I kind of take some shortcut methods when it comes to making pumpkin pie, and but you'll see how easy and simple it is. If you're not a baker, if you're not one to make anything in the kitchen, I think this recipe is easy and simple enough. I think that anyone could do it, even the novice chef or the novice baker. You could do this because we're going to be making some easy shortcuts today to make it easier for anyone to make, okay? And you can make it pretty quick too. So you're going to start out with, you're going to need 2 bowls, okay? A medium-sized bowl and a larger mixing bowl. And because when you're baking, a lot of times your recipe may call for mixing dry ingredients, homemade noodles from scratch, Miss Deanie. Oh, that would be amazing. There's just some special family recipes that you just can't replicate sometimes. I know I've heard my dad say before that I don't know if it was his mother or his grandmother that used to make fried apple pies, and he's just never been able to find find something that is close enough to the flavor that he remembers those by. So I just cherish family recipes that you can pass down from generation to generation. And if you don't have those family recipes, add this one to your recipe box, okay? If you would like today's recipe, let me know in the comments below. I do have this recipe that I can share with you, and I'd be happy to share it with you because that was the nature of my grandmother. She loved to share things. She loved to share. She was just an amazing baker, an amazing cook, and she had many mouths to feed. She had 4 children, and 2 of those were boys, and they ate a lot. So, she was just one of those type of individuals. She would share recipes with anyone who asked, and that's right. You're not going to be able to replicate your mom's bread. I know. It's so funny how there's just certain things that you just can't replicate. But I think this is straight from her recipe, and we've made it ever since. And I think it's one of those things we have been able to replicate pretty close. So I'm going to show you how I make it today, and I hope you'll join me. And down in the comments, if you want the recipe, let me know, and I'll be sure to share that link with you, okay? After today's live. I'll do that probably sometime over the weekend. All right, so 2 mixing bowls, and I start with the dry ingredients first. So don't get hung up. If you want the recipe, the measurements, just let me know, and I will share the link with you where you can find that on my website, okay? So I start out with 1.5 cups of just regular granulated sugar, okay? So 1.5 cups. And I do have the recipe in front of me. I have not made these since last winter. After the cold seasons are over, I start to have it memorized again. But for the first time in a while, I have to kind of revisit my recipe again. All right, you're going to have 2 tablespoons of self-rising flour. 2 tablespoons, you guys. And then we have to have pumpkin pie spice. This is a little shortcut method for me. I don't know about you guys. Some of you might choose to add your own ingredients, like individually, whether it's nutmeg, allspice, or whatever that you add to it. I think, let's see, pumpkin pie spice has cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, ginger, and cloves. So if you buy this, it's already all pre-mixed together, and that's my shortcut method. Now this is a little bit a cheaper variety of pumpkin pie spice than what I typically get. But I had to go to my local grocery, which is a little bit more expensive today because I was out. And the little small McCormick size of pumpkin pie spice was $7, you guys. $7. So, hey, Miss Brenda, okay, you all are wanting the recipe. That's awesome. Let me know, and I'll be sure to share that with you guys. So this one, this is, let's see, 2.5 ounce, and this was $1. So I grabbed 2 of them. I've never tried this brand. You may be picky about that, or you may not care. I know sometimes you can kind of get, it smells amazing. It smells like it's pretty potent. So we need 3, not 3 tablespoons. We need 3 teaspoons. Let's grab the right spoon there. That could be, that could be a surprise. 3 teaspoons, which is actually a tablespoon. But my tablespoon won't fit down in this little container. So I'm going to scoop out 3 teaspoons. 3 teaspoons is equivalent to 1 tablespoon. But you can see my tablespoon, actually it would have. Well, hot dog. Okay, most of the time it doesn't fit in them, my little spice containers. All right, so we're going to mix together these dry ingredients, and we're going to set that to the side. All right. Hey, Miss Cindy. Hey, Miss Melissa. You used that brand? Okay, awesome. Well, that's good to know because that was a lot cheaper. A lot cheaper. I cannot believe it, you guys. So here's kind of what we're looking at right here. Smells amazing. Smells amazing. Where did I say the pumpkin spice spice? Joy, I found this at my local grocery store. It's IGA. I don't know if you all have IGAs where you are. It's just a small grocery store in my near small town. And my camera is backwards, but it's called Spice Supreme is the brand. It's just a generic grocery store brand. Probably equivalent to something like a Walmart brand or like a store brand versus like a McCormick's. With the McCormick's, a little bitty container was like $7. I was like, I can't do that. It's always kind of pricey, but it's even more pricier now. So when I saw that one for $1, I was like, oh my gosh, I got 2 of them. And there was the last 2 left. So this, you just want to mix it up really well. So you can see right in here, I don't have it mixed up all the way. Really get down to the bottom and get all that pumpkin pie spice really mixed up good. Because you want this an even color before you add it to your wet ingredients, which we're going to put together in just a second. All right, so we're going to set that to the side. If you would like today's recipe, let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to share the link with you after the live or after probably sometime this weekend. I'll be able to come back and check the comments, okay? This is my favorite brand of pumpkin. Canned pumpkin. Now, it depends on what you guys like. This is Libby's brand, okay? That my camera is backwards, of course, today. But I thought for cooking, I had to leave it straight. I was going to get all jumbled up because I'm looking at the camera a lot more today. Oh my goodness. Who mixes their own spices? I missed that comment. Pat, yes, now that's amazing. That's amazing. I would love to do that, but I don't have the time around here. So I do take shortcuts for that kind of thing. So I'm using 1 can. This is a, what is it, 15 ounce? Yes, 15 ounce can of pumpkin. All right. Now pumpkin can be hard to find right now, you guys. Usually in the fall, it kind of goes on a little shortage around here. I don't know if it's the same way with you guys where you are, but it's funny. It's like around September, the shelves start getting a little bit bare. So, okay, Miss Jenny, well, welcome. I'm glad you're here from Pendleton, Kentucky. That's awesome. I can't remember exactly where Pendleton is, but I'm sure I've been close to it. I am from Kentucky as well. I think so too, Mimi. I think so too. This is the brand that my grandmother used to use, and I think a lot of times, let me toss this in the trash. I think a lot of times, you know, sometimes when we're trying to replicate family heirloom recipes, you know, that have been passed down, sometimes those flavors come from different brands. So if you know a family recipe and you haven't been able to kind of duplicate that same flavor, a lot of times different brands can have slightly different flavors to them. This is the brand that my Mamaw, that's what I called her. My Mamaw used to use all the time. So that's kind of another key feature to getting those flavors as close as possible. Oh, Mary, oh my goodness, that would be amazing to use real pumpkin. That would be amazing. So I'm showing you some shortcuts, okay, for the busy mom or the busy grandmom, or if you need a dessert in a hurry, or something to give as a housewarming gift. This recipe will make 2 9-inch deep pies. So if you want, if you have a new neighbor coming in, you can make this recipe and have one for yourself and one for your neighbor as well. Would love if you share. Yes, I will. I sure will, Miss Nancy. I will be happy to share this recipe with you today. If just let me know down below, and then I'll come back and share the link with you guys after today. And I know a lot of times you may not get a notification when I respond back to your comments. So I will probably also make a post on my page as well that will have that recipe for you guys. Hey, Miss Mary and Jennifer. I'm so excited y'all are on here. Thank you so much. Yes, Miss Tony. So today is the first day for the Crafty Cook. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, the Crafty Cook is a 5 Friday series that we are hosting over in the Craft on the Clock group from noon until 6 p.m. every Friday for the next 5 Fridays. All with baking. So we're taking all of our creators and crafters and we're switching over to the kitchen for a few hours on Friday. So we're excited about this. So my next ingredient is one 12-ounce can of evaporated milk. Evaporated milk. Hey, Miss Rula, how are you, sweet friend? Hey, Miss Jane. All right, got this open, and let's see what we got. Okay, here we go. A can of evaporated milk. Now this bowl, we are adding, let me show you guys. There we go. I will definitely share the recipe with you guys in the comments. Yes, just let me know. Just let me know. This is also the brand that she uses is Nestle Carnation Evaporated Milk. Another one of the ingredients that I know she used, so that's what I use to replicate as close as I can to her recipe. So I am going to toss this over here to the side because I don't want to make a mess. All right, let's see. We have 5 large eggs. That's what we need to add next. So I am going to get a measuring cup to put my eggs in first. That way, if we get any shells in there, we can hopefully get those out a little bit easier. 5 eggs. Yay! I will surely share it with you. My jack-o'-lanterns get cut up and roasted for pumpkins. Oh, that's awesome, Miss Pat. That is awesome. We have not been getting fresh pumpkins the last couple of years. I don't know. I don't think the pumpkins that we have around here are like the pumpkins that you would use for baking. Now, for granted, you could totally like take the seeds and roast those and, you know, season them a little bit and have those. But the pumpkins that we have around here just aren't quite the same as what the flavor that you would get from the canned pumpkin. So, and I know she used the canned pumpkin. I know she used that brand, so which is another reason why I try to keep it as close to her recipe as possible. Yes, you can save your shells for the garden. That's right, Miss Karen. Oh, Carol, sorry. Your comment was flying up there fast. I was trying to catch your name before it disappeared. Okay. Now, I think that's all we put in there. Oh, we'll add some vanilla, but we do that last. Yeah, that's it. Okay, just making sure. I had to refresh my memory, guys. I have not made this since last winter. It's been forever. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to mix this wet mixture. And once we get that mixed, we'll add our dry ingredients next, okay? All right, so let's see. Oh, I know it, Miss Jane. When the companies change the sizes and weights of their cans or their serving sizes, yes. That's right, Miss Lynn. Oh my goodness, I bet it is cold in Alaska already. It was a cool and crisp 37 degrees here in Kentucky this morning when we woke up. I will surely share that recipe with you, Miss Paulette. So I'm just mixing it together. You guys might be able to swipe your comments and see how yummy this is looking already. So let me show you the coloration that we have going on. Let me kind of clear off my counter here so I don't have a mess. All right, let's slide that under there because I know that's going to drip. Okay, so here's what we have. Woohoo! There we go. There's the color. Now, for granted, my bowl is blue. My white bowl is dirty, of course. So that's the coloration that you have right there. Just a good soft pumpkin color. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly add those dry ingredients that we'd already pre-mixed a moment ago, and that is 1.5 cups of sugar, 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, right? Let me look. No, self-rising flour. 2 tablespoons of self-rising flour and 3 teaspoons of cinnamon or pumpkin pie spice. Oh, I'm getting tied up. I promise the recipe that I send you will have the correct measurements and ingredients. I'll have it here written in front of me. I'll show you in just a second. And I'm just going to slowly add those as I'm mixing, okay? Your family loves pumpkin pie. Oh my goodness, mine does too. Now you guys will have to tell me, do you like your pumpkin pie cold or do you like it warm? That's the debate around our house. My husband likes it warm with a dollop of Cool Whip. I, on the other hand, like it cold and plain. I like it cold. And I know everybody kind of is the same boat. They kind of like it different. And I don't even put Cool Whip on mine. Nope, just keep it plain. next pumpkin. I have not heard of that. So is that a good pumpkin to use if you want to go the all-natural route, right? Cold, cold, cold. Oh my gosh, y'all are all with me almost, I think. Room temperature, Melissa. That's a good one. I could probably do room temperature, but I can't do warm. I like the smells when it's warm for sure. But definitely, I can't if I'm going to eat it. It's delicious anyway. Warm. Oh, we had a warm. Okay. All right. Well, we've got a warm on the board there. Either way, Miss Debbie, I hear you. I hear you. Now, another way that we are going to make this as a shortcut method is we're going to be using the frozen pie crust, okay? Now, I know that's not everybody's cup of tea. If you like making homemade pie crust, you can definitely do so. You can definitely do so. For me and my family, my lifestyle right now, I don't have the time to do a homemade pie crust. Cold with whipped cream. Warm and Cool Whip. Yep, Miss Cheryl, you're just like my husband. I have Impossible Pumpkin Pie Cold with whipped topping. That's awesome. These pie crusts are like, whew, they're packaged up good. Okay, now this recipe will make, oh, this is making a nice mess for me. We'll make 2 9-inch deep pies, okay? Now, if you want to, I kind of like to do this. You guys do what you want. But sometimes when I'm making them, I kind of want them to have the homemade look, even though I'm not making them homemade. So what I'll do is when the pie crust kind of thaws out, I'll kind of take the pie crust and reshape the little edging, the little fluting around the edge. My pie crust is still a little too frozen for me to do that with. Room temperature with a good cup of coffee. I was going to say that he likes to eat it sometimes for breakfast with some coffee too. Now, I don't know about you guys, and I really don't know if this makes a difference, but I know when my mother makes this recipe, when she uses these frozen pie crusts, she always takes a fork and goes around and use the Pillsbury pie crust. Okay. That you unroll. I've used those too, but you know what? I feel like they're making them smaller. Sometimes I do those, but I feel like they're making them smaller now. So I almost have to use like 2 of those pie crusts and mold them to like re-roll them into one so that I have extra space to make a real pretty fluted edge. But sometimes, yes, I will do that. If I'm making it for like a really, like a Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving dinner, I will go the extra steps in using that already rolled up pie crust that you just unroll and put on your pie dish. Yes. So she takes it and she pricks the crust. You guys tell me if you do that. I don't know. I don't know if it matters. I think sometimes I have forgotten to do that in the past, and I don't know if it makes a difference. But for tradition's sake around here today, I'm going to do it the way she does it. I need to share my make in the pie pan recipe with you. Yes, do that, Miss Joy. Do that. Share with me because I think we'll probably do some more cooking kitchen segments in the next few months because I love baking. I like cooking, but I like baking even more. So I'll probably be doing this. So if you want to share some recipes and you want us to try them out on a live, I would love it if you would send me your recipe. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. All right. So I'm just going around and making some pricks in my crust. All right. Now, all I'm going to do now is I'm going to set these beaters off to the side for a moment. I'm going to be making another batch of these in a little while, but just for time's sake and mess sake, I wanted to get those out of the way. All right, so let's move that out of the way. All right, so here I go. I'm going to pour half of this mix. It helps the crust not to bubble, especially if you're baking it with nothing inside. Okay, Miss Debbie, so it may not be necessary on this step. So thank you for that. All right, half of it in, and then the other one, we'll do the other half. And like I said, you have one for yourself if you want to give one to a neighbor or take it to, you know, someone else in your family or whatever as a little gift, a little unexpected delivery. I'm sure they would appreciate that, right? Who would not love a semi-homemade pumpkin pie? We didn't completely go from scratch, but we did pretty close. So that's what we have, aren't they? I mean, that's super easy. Unique, you can just, oh, Pat, you can just bake it in, I missed it. You can just bake it in the custard cups. Yes, you're right. If you want to do that, yeah, you could definitely do that. For sure. Like I said, this for me is more of a traditional thing that we've done in the family this way for forever. My crust is still a little too frozen for me to, that one's a little softer. Sometimes I'll go through and just kind of reshape. Oh goodness, I'm going to make a mess. Just kind of reshape that crust so that it looks like it's a little bit more of a handmade handmade crust, but it's not gonna. It's moving a little bit. Okay, so here's what I do. I've got the recipe written down here. So what I do, you're going to want to preheat your oven to 400 degrees, okay, Fahrenheit. Put them in at 400, okay, for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, my grandmother used to always lower her oven to 350. I don't know what her reasoning was behind it, but I know she made these pumpkin pies so many times. I know she had to have a good reason for it. So I just follow, I don't ask, I just follow her recipe. So bake in a preheated oven 400 degrees for 10 minutes. After the first 10 minutes, reduce the oven temperature to 350 and continue baking for about 20 to 25 minutes. Of course, that can depend on, you know, everyone's oven's slightly different. And the only way that I know when they're done, when the timer goes off, I always come back and check them. And what I do is I kind of shake the oven rack, and in the center of the pie is what you'll look for. In the center of the pie, if there's a little bit jiggly, I leave them in for a couple more minutes. If they look like they're pretty well firm and the center doesn't jiggle when I shake the oven rack, then I get them out. Ginger snap crust. Ooh, Miss Jane, I like that idea. I've never done that. So I just put those in the oven and I let them do their magic, you guys. So that's funny. You don't like pie crust, okay? Yeah, I can totally see. You could probably put them in like a little ramekin. Or like, I have some little mini. Let me show you what I have. You could probably totally skip. Now, if you like graham cracker crust, maybe you could get away with a graham cracker crust. But like a little mini dish like that would be cute. Or like a little mini ramekin, you could use those and make some little pies as well. Let's see. You have a lot of pie recipes that start at 400 degrees and then lower it. Let's see what Miss Sue said. I think it is to bake the bottom of the pie crust first and then lower it down once it starts baking the filling. The Miss Sue from Living a Heartful Life. Thank you for chiming in for that. I bet you're probably right. I bet you're probably right. That would make sense, right? Oh, I did not add the vanilla. Good catch, you guys. Now, of course, the vanilla is not going to like totally make it or break it. I didn't add the vanilla. I should have added the vanilla very last. And it calls for a teaspoon. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add a half a teaspoon to each pie and just give it a little stir. Nothing like forgetting the vanilla. There's my half. Okay, I'm not going to do this over my pies because I can just see me overfilling my spoon and it dumping everywhere. Like it did right there. Did you catch that? I'm just going to sprinkle it over my pie and then just slowly stir it in. Your pies are still going to turn out just fine. If you forget that step, like I just about did, thank goodness you guys were watching me. When you get on here and get on a live and get to talking, you know, it's kind of like talking and doing things at the same time. You kind of like, sometimes multitasking can throw you for a loop. All right, so let me set that over to the side. Hash, bang, boom. We're dropping things. Yeah, I'm just going to mix it up like that and it'll be just fine. I like the pretty colors, like the air bubbles that have risen to the top of this pie mixture, the pie filling. It's really pretty. Okay, we're going to stir that up. Get that vanilla mixed in, you guys, and then I'll put them in the oven, and I know they'll take about They'll take about 35 minutes, 35 to 40 minutes to cook. So I'm going to let them bake. And when they are finished, I will post a picture and along with the recipe that so you guys can have this if you want to give it a try for your fall baking. Okay, we're all done. Gonna put them right in the oven. Okay, it's been a lazy fall day around here, but my hair is a mess, you guys. Did I actually ever make a live? Oh, you did, Miss Rhonda. I get it. I was trying to read your comment and I wasn't like reading it right, so it didn't sound right to me. I'm glad you made a live today. I'm glad you made it. Yes, you want me to show you? I'm not going to put these in the oven yet because I'll have to go behind camera, but you want me to show you what's on my counter? Let me clear off my mess over here, you guys. My pie crust wrapper, and then I'll show you. I kind of redecorated my little countertop today for fall. I still need to add a few little fall touches, but you will recognize many of the little things that I tucked in over here as little things that we have been making over the last couple of months. So I'll be surely happy to share it with you. We have about, let's see, we started at 12:45, so we have about 10 more minutes before our next creator goes live over in the Craft from the Clock group. I can't remember who's next. I'll have to look at the schedule, of course, but they will be in the Craft from the Clock group whenever they start. Are you enjoying the cooking segments? Good. Today's our first Friday, and for 5 Fridays, that's a tongue twister. 5 Fridays this fall, we're having the Crafty Cook is what we're calling these segments over in the Craft on the Clock group. Just some baking, some cooking, sharing some recipes with you guys. Yes, Miss Jane. Oh, Miss Jane must have an awesome ginger snap cookie recipe. Oh, that would be amazing. Okay, I'm trying to tilt my camera so you guys can see that, but like totally avoid my kitchen sink over here. It's real life around here though. 3 kids. Yeah, we got, and we've just come home from vacation, so the rest of the house is upside down, you guys. The rest of the house is upside down. So let me show you what we've got. Right here, let me slide this out if I can. I'll slide this out and closer to you so you can see what's on here, and then I'll slide it back in there. But I do have a light cord that's coming out the side there. Okay. All right, so you can see this. This is just a wooden box that I have tilted up on its side. And so I decorate it like a shelf almost. I decorate the inside, put a little light, and then I decorate the top. So we've got our cornmeal box here that we created out of a lemonade container. Let me show you what it looked like. Let me grab it. We use this lemonade all the time, you guys. This lemonade right here, Country Time lemonade. We converted, I used an empty one of these into this amazing little container. And you could actually use it for storage if you wanted to. If you wanted to actually put your flour in there, you could. But it would kind of, if you decorate it the same way at the top, it would kind of be a hassle to open and close it all the time. But I love that. Hey, Miss Debbie, thanks for hopping on. Hey, Miss Jessica from Jessica's Party Decor and More. Miss Kelly from Chestnut Junction. How are you guys? All right, so let me show you my little trick here. You all saw I'm like disassembling this so you could see it and I'll put it back together so you can see it too. I'm trying to do it without it. I don't know if you got, there we go. So I have one of our little jelly jars that we created out of a yogurt. Come on, there we go. Whew. Whew. I thought we were gone for a second. It froze up on me and it was trying to reconnect. So here we go. A little yogurt glass jar that we used tea bags, stamped tea bags to make this little jelly jar. And then, of course, here was one of our most recent projects, a jar filled with some dried beans. We tied it off with some little homespun, some red checked homespun, and some fall acorns and leaves with a little rusty barn star. Even showed you how to make this little mini light candle for the top. And then, of course, lots of you have loved these. We made these little printed, we printed this on muslin material using a home printer, these little faux grain sacks. So this one says flour. I know it's backwards for you guys, but it says self-rising flour. So I tuck this in the corner, and then I take this little light and I put it right here. It's short enough that it fits right in that box. I string the cord out the side. There's a little handle. This little box has a handles on the side, little cutout handles. So I string the cord through the side and plug it in behind the box. And to hide that cord, what I do is I take, of course, this big container that we made. Uh-oh, I lost a little sprig of our sweet Annie. It fell off somewhere. Take that, and I tuck that little jelly jar right in there in the center, in between those. And so that hides the cord. Is that not cute? So then on the top, this was the project we made last. I believe this was our very last project since I was gone on vacation. Last week, we did the crackle. We used some just spaghetti sauce jars and did a crackling technique and made these little primitive little canisters. Turned out so cute. So we made a matching 3-piece set of those, and I put those at the top up here. There we go. And then, of course, our faux bread. We've done all of these on live, I think, you guys. Did the faux bread using gaps and cracks. It's like a spray foam insulation. And then used some stain, and then I sprinkled a little bit of diamond dust on, so it looks like it has like sugar. It could be like cinnamon bread or cinnamon brown sugar with a little cinnamon tie and some cheesecloth, coffee stained cheesecloth. Put that at the top with just nothing else, simple but a glass jar of some dried peas, you guys. It's so easy. Like everything that's on this box, yes, everything on that box we have made. And super easy, using some jars, and probably everything on this shelf. Oh my goodness, maybe like, I'm trying to think, maybe $5. I don't know, like nothing, next to nothing to create that little display. So just find you a used box that fits well on your counter. This one is really narrow, so let me show you. It's really narrow, so it works well on my counter. It doesn't take up a lot of space, a lot of depth on my counter. So I use that. You need to find the video for the lights, Jessica, for the little lights on top of the jar. Yes, it's not too far back, but it was super easy. And you guys, you know what I used to make that little light? I used, okay, now this is aluminum foil. Y'all are going to crack up. See that cardboard roll right there? This aluminum foil is almost done, so I'm going to have another aluminum foil roll for another project here soon. I used that cardboard tube inside my aluminum foil. Cut it down, of course, and use some hot glue and a little light strand to make that little candle short enough to fit on top of the jar. Because, I mean, you know, you can't find like battery operated candles that would fit on top of a jar without being too tall to fit inside that. So that's why I made my own. I made my own and kind of painted it, used hot glue for the little drips. But yes, it turned out so cute. I love that little jar candle. In fact, I'm probably going to make some of those from Christmas gifts this year. They're so easy to make. And I just use like reusable jars, like, you know, jars that you would typically throw away. Like I have a pickle jar that I emptied out a couple of days ago. So I've ran it through the dishwasher. I've got it all cleaned up, and I'll probably use it to make another one of those little things. And you can dress it up. You can use a little candle ring and switch it out for the seasons, decorate it up for the different seasons. So it's super easy and inexpensive, just using a jar that you would otherwise just throw away. Okay, so I slide that back, and then I have a little tuck of greenery right there, and that kind of hides my cord that comes out to the side. I probably need to switch that out for a little fall pick. And then over here I have one of my little vintage scales that I love to collect. And it has a little black gingham homespun little dish towel that my mom made me a couple of Christmases ago. She made that. And then, of course, I have this little cast iron skillet. We did this on a live as well when I showed you how to make the pantry tarts. So this is a little cast iron skillet that I kind of grunged it up with my coffee grunge. But you probably won't be able to see it on camera. But it's this little cast iron skillet was $5 at my Dollar General. And so I coffee grunged it, and I added some cinnamon scented rose hips around the edge, and have my little faux pantry tart in the center here. This smells amazing. Anytime I'm over here working in my little cozy corner in the kitchen is what I like to call it, I can smell this. I smell the rose hips and then the cinnamon and coffee grunge that are on this. Smell amazing. I wish there was like the smelling option on your phone. You would love it. That's right, Tracy, you need to. I've been saving my jars, and I've got a whole little box full of some random jars and containers that I'm wanting to do some things with. So now when I go in, or when I have a jar that's empty, I'm like, I like the shape of this jar. My daughter looked at me the other day and she goes, now you just need to turn it into something else. So she's already catching on. She's catching on to what we're doing around here. You have a big glass pickle jar. Yes, that would be awesome, Jessica. I turned my big pickle jar into a faux stoneware crock. I used not grunging technique. I used what I call grubby technique on that one and turned it into a faux stoneware crock. I love it. I love it. That's right. That's right. Just get scratch and sniff. That's exactly right. So I set this. I just kind of drape this over, any old way, and then set this on top and just kind of tuck it back in that little corner. Now I have a little black metal star right back in here, so that kind of ties in all my little stars that are over here. And then of course it ties in my stars on my bread cabinet. I love this little bread cabinet. I'm trying to spin the camera all the way around over here. So I purchased this, I don't know, probably 10 years ago, but I get compliments on it all the time, and sometimes you can find them on Etsy as well. But I love it because it kind of takes up this corner space. And on the top, I don't know if you guys can see it, I have a vintage rolling pin, a vintage ice cream scoop, and then I just have one of these same little yogurt jars that I have stamped tea bags onto, and I kind of tuck it up here at the top. And then over here, I just have a little lamp. I like to, you all know that I love lights in my kitchen. So I have a little lamp and just another faux grain sack and whatnot in the corner. But I love decorating this little corner for the different seasons. I love it, you guys. So I'm going to hop off here. We have a creator coming up right now over in the Craft on the Clock group for the Crafty Cook segment. So go check her out. I've got to get her posted over there and shared. So I am going to sign off. And thank you all so much for being here. I'll see you on Monday at 3 p.m. Bye, y'all. Have a wonderful weekend.